Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before you scroll, listen closely. If she suddenly goes quiet, if her replies slow, if she seems distant but never fully gone, your chest tightens because something feels unfinished. That unease you feel is the hook. It's not rejection, it's tension. And tension is never created by indifference. If this kind of insight hits you where it hurts, subscribe to the channel and like this video because what I'm about to share can change how you see women forever. I'm speaking to you as a psychologist, not to flatter you, but to ground you. When a woman truly stops caring, there is no confusion. There is no mixed signal. There is absence, clean, cold, and final. What you're experiencing is different. She's not avoiding you because she doesn't feel. She's pulling back because she feels too much, and that scares her nervous system. Men are taught to chase clarity. Women are wired to protect emotional safety. When attraction becomes intense, her subconscious asks one question: is this safe to surrender to? If the answer isn't fully formed yet, distance becomes regulation, not rejection. Silence becomes a boundary, not a goodbye. Here's the part most men miss. When a woman loves deeply, she doesn't always lean in. Sometimes she leans away to test her own strength. She watches how you handle space. She observes whether your presence is grounded or needy, whether you hold yourself or collapse into pursuit. This isn't a game, it's instinct. Your anxiety rises because you sense the bond hasn't broken. That sensation is real. Emotional cords don't dissolve quietly, they tighten. And when they tighten, behavior changes. She may delay responses, avoid long conversations, or seem distracted, yet still watch your stories, still remember details, still reappear at meaningful moments. That contradiction is not confusion, it's containment. Understand this clearly. A woman who feels nothing does nothing. A woman who feels too much does less. She reduces contact to regain control over feelings that threaten to overtake her. This is not about power, it's about self-regulation. If you can sit with this truth without chasing, without performing, without demanding reassurance, something shifts. You stop reacting, you start radiating stability, and stability is the one thing her heart is silently checking for. Stay steady, breathe deeper, and let your calm become the answer her silence is waiting for today quietly. When a woman pulls back while still emotionally tethered, her inner world becomes louder than her outer behavior. What you see is distance. What she feels is intensity. Her mind starts replaying moments, scanning your tone, your consistency, your emotional posture. And here is the psychological truth most men never hear. Strong emotions activate fear of loss before they activate commitment. For many women, love does not feel soft at first. It feels destabilizing. It threatens routines, identity, control. When she realizes you matter more than expected, her nervous system reacts the same way it would to any perceived risk. It slows things down. It creates space, not to disconnect, but to observe. She's asking herself questions she will never ask you out loud. Can I trust how he shows up when I'm not giving him access? Does he respect my silence or try to conquer it? Does he remain whole without my constant validation? Your answers are behavioral, not verbal. This is where men unintentionally sabotage connection. They interpret space as a problem to fix. They send longer messages, explain themselves, seek reassurance, or subtly demand clarity. Psychologically, this shifts your energy from grounded to reactive. And reaction signals instability, not strength. A woman who is overwhelmed by love watches closely during these moments. She's not counting texts. She's measuring emotional self-control. She's sensing whether your masculinity collapses under uncertainty or steadies itself. Attraction is not sustained by pursuit. It's sustained by presence without pressure. Notice how she hasn't vanished. She hasn't cut ties. She hasn't drawn a hard line. That's because the bond is alive. It's just being tested in silence. Silence for her is a mirror. She wants to see what you become when she is not filling the space. This is why restraint matters. When you don't chase, you give her system room to settle. When you don't panic, you show emotional leadership. And leadership is what allows her to feel safe enough to move closer again. There is a difference between emotional unavailability and emotional containment. Unavailability feels cold. Containment feels tense. If you feel tension rather than emptiness, something is still growing beneath the surface. The man who understands this does not withdraw in bitterness or advance in desperation. He remains consistent in character, light in communication, and full in life. He doesn't wait by the phone. He lives. And here is the paradox. The moment she feels you are not trying to pull her back, her nervous system relaxes. Relaxation creates clarity. Clarity creates movement, not because you forced it, but because you allowed her emotions to settle without threat. If you can master this moment, you don't just preserve attraction, you deepen it, because you become the calm she didn't know she needed when her feelings became too real to handle. Let's get brutally honest. Most men mistake intensity for rejection. They see her pull back and immediately assume she's losing interest. But here's the truth you need to hear. Intensity doesn't push love away. It forces it to find structure. Her retreat isn't the end. It's a test of your internal framework. It's a psychological checkpoint that determines whether your presence will feel safe enough for her to return fully. When she loves too much, emotions overwhelm her rational brain. Oxytocin spikes, adrenaline rises, and suddenly a simple text from you can feel like a tidal wave. She pulls back not because she doesn't want you, but because her body is screaming for balance. It's biology, it's automatic, it's unstoppable. And if you misread it, you risk turning her nervous system against you instead of with you. Here's what most men don't understand. Love-driven anxiety in women doesn't mean insecurity about you. It means insecurity about their own control over their feelings. She's caught in a loop of desire and fear, craving you while questioning if she can handle the intensity of her own heart. She watches you like a lighthouse in a storm. She needs to see if your light remains steady when hers flickers. This is why your reaction is everything. If you panic, if you over-message, if you over-explain, her system interprets that as instability, and instability triggers more retreat. But if you remain calm, if you carry yourself as if your worth doesn't hinge on her proximity, you become her anchor. Her subconscious starts registering that it's safe to move closer. Notice something crucial here. She hasn't stopped thinking about you. Her love is still active, but it's enclosed, packaged carefully, waiting for the right signals. And you, whether you realize it or not, are one of those signals. Your ability to show restraint, patience, and confidence doesn't just preserve her attention, it amplifies it. She can feel your presence even in your absence, and that sensation keeps her tethered in a way chasing never could. This is where most men fail spectacularly. They interpret distance as absence of emotion and respond with force. But force repels what desire naturally seeks: safety, stability, and calmness. A woman overwhelmed by love needs a man who can hold space for her intensity without being consumed by it. If you can embody that, you are no longer just a person she wants. You become the place she can come home to emotionally. And when she eventually leans in, it won't be tentative. It will be because her heart trusts your steadiness more than it fears its own depth. That's the subtle but powerful truth of loving too much, and why you must learn to navigate it with psychological precision. Here's the secret that most men will never hear. When a woman is retreating while secretly in love, every small gesture, every glance, every message is loaded with meaning. She doesn't just disappear, she measures, she calibrates, she observes, and most importantly, she gauges whether you can remain grounded while her emotions swing wildly. This is not manipulation, it's survival. It's her mind and heart protecting what matters most. Think about it. If she felt nothing, your texts wouldn't matter. Your absence wouldn't create anxiety. Her heart wouldn't skip a beat at your name. But because she feels everything, her brain is working overtime to regulate her feelings, to avoid getting lost in them. This is why she sometimes seems distant yet engaged, cold yet attentive. It's tension, not indifference. Most men interpret this tension as rejection. They feel the unease, and their immediate instinct is to fill the void. But here's the psychological truth. The more you chase her, the more you confirm her fear that emotions are unsafe. When she pulls back, she's testing a critical question. Can you exist fully without needing to control her? Can you remain solid while she battles her own intensity? The men who succeed are those who resist the urge to fix, to explain, to pursue frantically. They understand that her silence is a signal, not a punishment. They understand that her retreat is not a verdict on your value, but a mirror reflecting her own struggle with depth and vulnerability. She's not leaving. You are witnessing the war between her feelings and her fear. Here's another layer many men overlook. When a woman is overwhelmed by love, she is hyper-aware of your energy. She notices if you are calm, if you are present, if you are living fully without relying on her to validate your worth. Every ounce of patience you show sends a message louder than any words. You are safe. You are grounded, you are different, and when she feels that safety, something incredible happens. The very distance she created to protect herself transforms into attraction. Her nervous system relaxes, her mind clears, and she begins to lean toward you naturally. Not because you forced her, not because you pleaded, but because you held the space she secretly needed. If you can internalize this, you begin to see love not as a game of pursuit and retreat, but as a psychological dance of depth, patience, and emotional calibration. The more intense her feelings, the more careful and precise your presence must be. Stability, consistency, and self-possession become your most powerful tools. Tools that will pull her closer than words ever could. Her love is already there. The question is whether you can become the calm harbor her intensity is searching for. And if you can, nothing, distance, silence, or fear will ever push her away. Let me make something crystal clear. A woman who truly loves too much will never fully disappear. She may vanish from calls, delay texts, or create distance, but she is always watching, even in silence. She is present in her own way, tracking your energy, measuring your calm, evaluating whether you can withstand her emotional storm. This is the paradox most men never understand. Intensity attracts, but it also tests. Her mind is running on hyper alert. Every action you take becomes data. Every word you say becomes proof. She notices whether you chase needily, whether you react emotionally, whether you cling to her presence. And if you fail to remain grounded, if you allow anxiety to dictate your behavior, her system interprets you as unstable. Attraction doesn't survive that, but if you remain steady, her attraction deepens without a single word from you. You have to grasp this. She isn't avoiding you. She is negotiating internally with her own emotions. She feels more than she can process, and her subconscious is screaming for space to contain that love. Distance is her way of managing an intensity that could otherwise overwhelm her. Most men misread this as indifference and respond with panic, which only amplifies her fear. Here's the harsh truth that changes everything. When she is quiet, your value is being tested, not through words, but through your energy. Are you reactive, desperate, and scattered? Or are you composed, grounded, and living your life fully? The latter choice doesn't just preserve attraction, it intensifies it. Your calm becomes a magnet. Your absence becomes a presence. Notice the little signs. She remembers what you said days ago. She reacts emotionally to subtle cues from you. She engages indirectly. She shows curiosity about your life, even when distant. These are signals of emotional entanglement, not disinterest. Her pullback is not a wall, it's a pause to test whether your love can match hers without collapsing under intensity. You must resist the urge to fill the silence. Stop seeking validation. Stop explaining your worth. Let her feel the weight of her own emotions and the safety of your steadiness. When she senses that you can exist fully without her constant input, her nervous system starts to relax. This is when the invisible threads tighten, when her love becomes undeniable, and when she starts leaning back toward you with genuine desire. The man who understands this doesn't chase. He doesn't beg. He doesn't panic. He becomes a quiet force in her world, a constant, reliable energy that she can trust. And when she finally reaches out, it won't be tentative. It will be with a heart that knows it's safe to surrender, a heart that has been waiting for someone strong enough to hold space for her love. That is power, that is mastery, that is attraction. Now let's talk about what most men completely miss, the difference between absence and emotional intensity. A woman who is overwhelmed by love will sometimes create distance, not to punish you, but to protect herself from feeling too much. She's not pulling away because you're inadequate. She's pulling away because her own feelings are so powerful that they terrify her. And the tension you feel? That's not rejection. It's proof she's invested. When a woman feels too much, her body reacts before her mind. Her pulse rises, adrenaline spikes, and even small interactions can feel like emotional earthquakes. She may withdraw, she may avoid confrontation, she may seem off at times, but every subtle action is a reflection of her inner struggle. If you misread these cues and respond with panic, you confirm her fears that love is unsafe. If, however, you remain calm, composed, and fully present in your own life, you send a signal that her intensity can exist safely around you. Here's a critical insight. Silence is your ally, not your enemy. When she pulls back, every attempt to chase, explain, or reassure her diminishes attraction. She doesn't want words. She wants stability. She wants the evidence that you can handle her without losing yourself. And the more you prove that, the stronger the pull becomes. Men fail because they interpret distance as a problem needing a solution. The truth is, her retreat is not the problem. Your reaction to it is. You need to observe carefully. Notice how she checks in subtly, how she comments on things you share, how she reacts to moments that matter to her emotionally. These micro-signals reveal the truth. She is still deeply invested. Your job is to remain a solid, calm presence, allowing her nervous system to settle while she processes her own emotions. This is how attraction transforms from tension into magnetic desire. Most men don't have the patience or the self-control to do this. They chase, they panic, they over-explain. But when you resist the urge, something extraordinary happens. Her mind relaxes, her heart quiets, and she begins to crave the very energy you maintain. She doesn't need convincing. She needs containment. She doesn't need pursuit. She needs proof that you are steady, reliable, and fully yourself. Remember, her pullback is a test of your internal strength. It's a test of emotional leadership. The more you can embody patience, self-possession, and calmness, the more irresistible you become. You are no longer just someone she loves. You are the anchor that her emotions can safely cling to. And that is a position no man accidentally achieves. It's earned through presence, restraint, and unwavering stability. When you master this, the woman who loves too much begins to move toward you naturally. She doesn't need to be convinced or persuaded. She returns because her heart recognizes a safe harbor in you, someone strong enough to withstand her intensity without being consumed by it. That is the power of knowing her mind, her biology, and her heart. That is the mastery of true attraction. Here's the ultimate truth few men ever grasp. When a woman loves too much, her silence, her distance, her hesitation, all of it, is a reflection of the intensity she cannot yet fully handle. She's not testing you to manipulate you. She's regulating her own feelings to prevent being swallowed by them. And this is where most men completely miss the psychological leverage available to them. Every step back she takes is paired with invisible threads connecting her to you. She notices your energy even when you're not in the same room. She remembers the smallest gestures, the tone in your voice, the way you carry yourself when nothing is demanded of you. These threads tighten when you remain grounded, when you resist the urge to chase, when you exist fully in your own life. Her emotions find stability in your presence without you uttering a single word. Understand this clearly. Chasing never created attraction. Containment does. Patience is magnetic. Calmness is irresistible. Confidence in absence speaks louder than desperate explanations ever could. When you maintain emotional leadership, you are not only preserving her attention, you are amplifying her desire. Her love grows stronger, not because of what you say, but because of who you are when she tests you through distance. Look at the signs carefully. She still engages indirectly. She reacts emotionally to subtle cues from you. She mirrors your energy without even realizing it. Every micro moment reveals that she is still connected, still invested, still tethered. The tension you feel is not a void. It is her love struggling to align with her fear, and your response determines whether those threads will snap or strengthen. Here's the lesson most men never learn. When she pulls back, do not panic. Do not fill the silence. Do not try to win her back with words or gestures. Instead, embody stability. Live fully. Hold your ground. Be the man whose value doesn't depend on immediate affirmation. When you do this, her subconscious begins to relax, her nervous system stabilizes, and the magnetic pull toward you intensifies naturally. When she finally leans in again, it will be different. It will not be hesitant. It will not be uncertain. It will be the result of trust, safety, and recognition of your strength. She will come closer, not because you forced her, but because you allowed her love to find a safe harbor within you. And that, my my friend, is the rare mastery most men never experience, a mastery that transforms overwhelming love into deep, enduring desire. Remember this, she isn't avoiding you. She loves you too much to be careless with her heart. And the man who understands this, the man who remains calm, patient, and steadfast, becomes irresistible, not by chasing, not by explaining, but by simply being the anchor her intensity has been searching for all along.